What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Brinson, I'm your host. Some bold predictions. Yes, we're starting later than normal. It's all Sully's fault. Just kidding. Ryan Wilson, John Breech, Tyler Sullivan. What's up, boys?
In honor of Pete Briscoe, Happy New Year, everybody.
Pete hates that. Yeah, it's the 10th. It's a little late for it, isn't it?
I love the perfect symbolism here that we have Tyler wearing a Super Bowl 57 pullover and Brinson here living in the past with his Super Bowl 53 hat. Give it the times, Brinson.
It's not a hat. It's a toboggan.
Fine.
Or a proof ball hat if you prefer.
A toboggan? I've never heard it called that.
Yeah, no one calls that.
Yeah, because you ride it like a toboggan down a hill.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Well, you know, we don't have snow here. So we don't.
You got to substitute the sled for the hat. I got you.
Yeah. What do you guys call them up there?
Just like a knit hat.
A knit
beanie
hat.
Sometimes is what they call them up here.
Beanie works. Beanie. Yeah. Beanie toboggan.
No, we don't call it a beanie if it has the poof ball on top. That's the key.
What do you call it?
Either a hat or a poof ball hat.
A hat.
Wait, so it's a beanie with no poof?
Breech is making stuff up.
No, yeah. If there's no beanie on the top, it's called. If there's no poof on the top, it's just a beanie.
Yeah.
Speaking of Happy New Year, Breech, get rid of your Christmas tree already, buddy.
Breechmas.
Have you ever heard of the 12 Days of Christmas? Come on, Brinson. It goes through January 7th. It's only 3 days late. Ridiculous. All right, I'll take it down. I'll take it down for playoff week. This weekend podcast, it'll be gone, I promise.
Stu in the chat says it's a bobble hat when it has the poof ball. I like that. Bobble hat. I think it's a British.
Better than toboggan.
Oh, bobble hat. Should never speak in British.
What are we even doing today? Ranking
bold
hats?
Predictions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My bold prediction is that John Breech's Christmas tree is up through the Super Bowl.
Ooh. You know what? I might keep it up until the Bengals lose in the playoffs.
I mean, at this point.
Coming down Sunday.
Boy. Well, that actually was going to be my bold prediction. We're doing bold predictions. 3 each. Who wants to start?
There we go. It's set up, guys. The Bengals are officially attached to the Christmas tree. Hope nothing's been changed. Okay. Sully, you're up.
You're fine.
Sully, what? Yeah, you're. We're all honored guests here.
Sure.
Sully,
I'll go first. I'll go with the first game on the slate. It's obviously the 49ers against the Seahawks. I'll go Christian McCaffrey goes over 200 yards from scrimmage. He's absolutely dominated the Seahawks in his career. It hasn't really even been close. He's averaging around 183.3 scrimmage yards against the Seahawks in his career, around 30 touches. They stink against the run. He's obviously super involved in the passing game. I think that this one, he has a monster showing in what is really his first legit run at a Super Bowl.
Disrespectful to the Panthers, but okay. And Sully, I do appreciate the fact that you even followed the rules that we didn't have to lay out for you. I mean, you don't want to say something like Christian McCaffrey runs for 2,000 yards. That's bold, but it's not going to happen. But I think your bold prediction hits the sweet spot of boldness and reality. So we usually grade them. Knowing all that, I'll give you a D-.
Cool. Perfect.
No, I'll give that one an A. That's an A worthy.
I'll say A-.
I base my bold predictions on how often those things happen. But man, I'm throwing for a loop. I don't. Yeah, right. But how often do teams go over 200 total yards or scrimmage yards?
All right. Well, you'll tell us in your grade.
Go over 200 yards or players.
He said players. He's going with Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey.
No, I understand that. Breech said how often do teams go?
Breech is going to tell us what he means.
Players.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you this. Christian McCaffrey did it back in week 17 against the Raiders. 121 yards. Oh, actually, no, my math's wrong. He came close. 121 yards rushing against the Raiders and then 72 yards receiving.
Sully, it's a good thing you're not a lawyer because we would all be guilty of whatever you were trying to defend us from.
Your Honor, I am sorry. I did not.
That is your knife.
Not guilty. What I meant was guilty.
Came close.
Client is guilty.
All right, Breech, what's your grade?
Would you give it a B?
No, I gave it an A. Brinson gave it an A-.
Brinson gave it an A-.
Yes.
All right. So it looks like this happened once last postseason.
Okay.
And it was Gabriel Davis It did not happen in the postseason before that. So in the past 3 years, this has happened 5 times. So I'm going to give it a B-.
Yeah, I knew Breech is a
But
stickler.
That's like particularly bold then if it doesn't happen that often.
He's a
It's
tough
kind of
grader.
back myself
Well,
up.
right. So that's above. Oh, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B.
Breach is
you
a
guys-
little worried you're creeping on his. This is bold, but not
Oh
that
no,
bold.
I just
but
got to
kind of
know how
bold,
many
but kind
times it happens. So
He's-
Gabriel Davis did it against the Chiefs. That happened last
Stop calling him
postseason.
Gabriel.
And
Don't,
then
Gabriel.
Gabe.
that's his name.
It's fine.
And then Derrick Henry
Donovan
actually.
Breach.
Derrick Henry actually did it twice in the 2019 season, January 2020.
All right, Breech,
But
you
I
want to
like
go or
it.
you want me to
Doesn't
go?
happen that often.
Yeah, we get it. You hate Sully. We
Breach,
get it.
Christian
Well, if
McCaffrey.
I go, I'm going to get horrible grades because of what I just gave Sully and the fact that his
All
prediction.
right, I'll go. And I
is more
always get
bold than
horrible
mine.
grades because mine are too conservative, according to you numbnuts. So, Sully, that's a subtle hint that you have to grade on a curve here. Gino, or as I call him, Eugene Cyril Smith III, against the best defense probably over the last 75, 80 years in the San Francisco 49ers, is going to throw for 300 yards. He's going to run for 50 yards, and he's going to combine for 3 touchdowns, pass plus run. So just a little backstory before you guys start whinging. This season, Geno Smith's MVP season, 4 times he's thrown for over 300 yards, none against the 49ers. One against Atlanta, terrible. One against the Lions early on, they were terrible defensively. One against the Raiders, terrible. One against the Rams, who had no players on the field at that point, week 13. And he has scored combined more than 3 touchdowns on 4 occasions. Those same games, except one game, not against the Falcons, instead the Saints, Andy Dalton's team of the future. So going against the 49ers, they're going to be on the road. Geno has played the Seahawks exactly twice in his career. Those both came this year, in which he averaged 200 yards passing and a half a touchdown. So 300 yards throwing, runs for 50 more, 3 combined touchdowns. And he's rushed for 50 yards just so to complete this season. Exactly 1 time. He's run for 49 and 48 as well, ran for 51 in week 18.
Do the Seahawks win in this scenario?
They're going to be down and they're going to be throwing a lot.
Okay. No, just curious. That's a good one. I'll give it an A.
All right. So you go ahead. So Breech can think about what he wants to do.
You get to grade give your first bold prediction grade.
I will grade it an A-. I'll give you an A-.
I'll take that. All right, dum-dum. What are you going to do?
What? Oh, I'm the dumb because I have
Not
to.
you. Like as I tell my 11-year-old, not you, somebody else.
I am going to give it a B+.
Oh, look at that. I'll take it. All right, Breech,
Just
you want to
because
wait
it's
again?
Geno
Or you want
Smith,
to
and it would be against the best defense in the NFL. So I think that
over the
is
last
bold
80 years?
part of it. Right. And when you look at the past 10 years in the NFL, the only quarterbacks to pull this off who are not named Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick.
And the difference is Eugene Cyril Smith III is better than all those guys combined.
That is the difference.
All right, Breech, you want to wait again?
No,
make
I'll
this-
just go because I need to get this one out of the way. It's my least bold prediction. It's a straight up game pick of an underdog beating a favorite.
I'm
Oh my God, no! Don't set it up like that. Oh my God, is this
I will,
the Jaguars
preemptive-
win? I'm kicking you out of the street.
No, we're doing Seattle. We're doing Seattle, San Francisco.
No, I thought we were doing
No,
what?
I think we're just doing 3
think
each
we're just
across the
taking-
whole thing.
Oh, we're doing 3. I thought we were going down the list because.
Are we doing one from each game?
No, that's fine.
We can do that if you want. Let's do that.
Sully started at Saturday at 4:30, but that's fine. Go ahead, Breech.
All right,
It doesn't matter.
let's do that then.
But I don't
Well,
know if Breech has all those ready.
Well,
Yeah,
he'll have to come up with them on the fly.
All
Oh,
right. Well, then no, I'll come up with that. Fine. I've got one from
Okay.
49ers, the 49ers Seahawks.
And quickly, preemptively, I'm going to give you a D-. Go ahead. Let's see how this works out.
Okay, well, it's kind of like Sully's prediction, but now I can't change it. It is that Christian McCaffrey rushes for 185 yards.
185.
Only happened twice in the history of the wild card round.
So Sully went 200 total yards, and you're saying
Total yards. I'm just saying straight up rushing yards. No
And
There's
Sully,
total.
just-
something nefarious about that prediction. I don't like it. D-.
What?
Are
It's
you
only
really-
happened twice ever in the wild card
There's
round.
something you're up to with 185. That's
And
so
by the way,
sadistic.
Sully, just so you know, this is Breech's MO. Like, you'll give a prediction that's pretty bold, and he'll undercut the prediction with some stupid, like 185 versus 200. So, Brinson, are you legit D- in it?
Yes.
Oh,
How can
boy.
you give that?
That's
It's
gonna
only
bring-
happened 2 times ever. That's as bold as it gets.
That's
So
gonna
always
bring-
predicting something that happened 7 times in the past 3 years.
That's going to bring your grade down, Breech. I'm not going to lie to you.
All my grades. I'm changing all my
All right,
grades.
Sully, what do you want to do? Breech
I'm
gave
giving
you
a C. I'll give you a C on that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
see, that's,
Sully. I like it. Sully leaning right in, baby.
I'm just going to be objective, Breech, and I'll give you a B minus because I like in a vacuum, that's not terrible, but clearly you're cheating off Sully's paper, and I should fail you, but I'm feeling magnanimous today. And Breech, I would allow you to grade yourself because you're going to fail this class, but I'm not going to let you do that.
I will say that Brock Purdy is going to throw an interception that will make Ryan Wilson say on the whatever recap pod we do, that was worse than the Josh Allen interception against the Houston Texans.
Has he thrown any? He's thrown interceptions since he's played, right?
Yeah, but not many.
Is that really your bold prediction?
There's going to be a moment where Brock Purdy has a big time
Ooh.
rookie moment for Brock Purdy where he throws an absolutely hellacious interception. Like
what would he have to do to make it worse than that?
Like he's going to like do a flip and throw the ball up in the air in the Seahawks.
Oh, like what's his name for
give me an
Marcus
F
Mariota
for this,
before he quit? Remember the Marcus Mariota pass?
Yes, pass to himself.
No, Marcus Mariota fell down. Remember that he fell down backwards and threw the ball straight in the air?
Yes,
that was this year.
Something like that. Like so, not just like a bad throw. Something where he like his body is flailing wildly out of control.
We're talking about it 3 years from now. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
I don't hate that. I like the out of the box thinking for the bold prediction. Breech, you go first because you're angry. Let's see what you say.
Well, here's the deal: is that
here we go.
well, is this for Jacksonville and the Chargers?
No, Brock Purdy plays for the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, for the grade? Oh, I thought I was making.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, the grade.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I give it a D.
That's fine.
A D as in David?
Too general. Well, he's a rookie quarterback in the playoffs. Of course, he's going to throw an interception.
But it's going to be something we're talking about 3 years from now.
Very possible.
Okay. Sully?
That's why I give it a C+.
I have a long memory of grades, Brinson. I know.
I think I'm with Breech. Yes, he's a rookie quarterback, so we're expecting some of this. But if we're talking about like all time, it's going to be on YouTube forever type of interceptions. All right, a little bit bolder, but I'll give it a C+.
I don't hate it. I'm giving it a B as opposed to Breech's B minus that I gave him for that stealing off of Sully's
That's because
paper.
Brinson sucked up to you and put your name in the prediction. That's the only.
That's
reason
how grades work, Breech.
All right.
Oh, Breech, grow up and get a clue, pal.
Okay.
All right, moving along. Wilson, let's talk.
Chargers Jags
by the way,
Saturday.
that Josh Allen fumble is like really one of the all timers.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, that's some of your best work. I'll be honest with you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're on to
On to Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville, I don't know what the spread is in that game. It doesn't matter because I know who's going to win. I would tell you guys, but you don't.
Jags. Chargers are -1 right now. We're -1.5.
How's that possible? All right, here's the bold prediction. And again, I don't know if you guys will think this is bold enough. I think it's pretty bold. Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence will combine for 600 passing yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, just a little background before you get angry, Breech. Justin Herbert, over the course of the season, threw for north of 300 yards 5 times, and he threw at least 3 touchdowns. He's never thrown more than 3 touchdowns a season. He did it on 3 occasions. Trevor did it on 4 times north of 300 yards, and he had 3 touchdowns combined. And by touchdowns, run and throw. He did that 5 times. So it's happened this year, but this is the biggest game of the season for both teams. Justin's year 3, Trevor's year 2. Neither has played. Did Justin play? They didn't play in play. No, they didn't go to the playoffs last year. So this is the first playoff game for both teams. So combined 600 yards, combined 6 touchdowns. And look, Justin Herbert could play one play and get benched for Chase Daniel, and Trevor Lawrence could do the heavy lifting and throw for 599. Either way, 606.
I give it an A+. Because
times are changing.
Well, it's because I was going to say that both Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert throw for 400 yards each was going to be my bold prediction.
That's a Breechy and undercut, yeah.
No. I'm just throwing mine out there too. I mean, I'll take a B+ or whatever. But like,
I see.
I mean, I'm not gonna wait 3 turns.
By the way, I love you like
same thing you did.
Teacher, I copied off his paper. I'll just take the B+. Don't worry about grading it.
Yeah, just go ahead and pass me and let me get the credit real quick. No, I mean, like, I think that's better. 606 is better than the 400 each. It's easier to get there. It's harder to get there, but like you can get there. You're combining them versus the 400.
So this is your bold prediction, or are you going to do another one? I wasn't clear on that.
400 each is my bold prediction.
400 each. All right, we'll grade that one in a second.
A+ for you,
though. I'll take it. Thank you. I already wrote that down in A. Sully, what do you think?
I'll give you an A. That's great.
Oh, Breech, it sucks to be you, man. Unless you're going to F me up. What are you going to do?
Well, let's see. This very exact stat happened just last year
Oh, get out of
Shut
town.
up.
in the divisional round with Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. So that takes a little bit away from it.
The 2 Hall of
But-
Famers. Okay, go
but
ahead.
when you consider the quarterbacks playing with Trevor Lawrence and the fact that he has only pulled this off 3 times this year, and the fact that Justin Herbert has only pulled this off once this year with 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, that definitely adds some boldness to it. So I'm going to give it a B+.
Oh my gosh, I was about to call you actually Oscar from The Office, but since you said that, I won't do that.
Thank
All right,
you.
Brinson, let's grade yours. 400, so 800 total is what you're saying?
400 each.
Yeah, I think the math works out where that's 800 total. Right.
Well, no, yeah, but I'm saying like the each component is a factor. Like
Right. I said
maybe
combined.
500,
Okay.
300.
That's right. You're right. All right. So, well, look, I mean, again,
It's not as good as yours. Let's just give me dot me a couple letter grades and let's move on.
reciprocity being what it is, I'll give you a B on that one. All right, Breech, what do you think?
I actually think Brinson's is bolder. Trevor Lawrence has never thrown for 400 yards in his career. Justin Herbert did not come anywhere close to throwing for 400 yards in a game
Are you weighing the reality part of it in there as well?
this year. And yes, Herbert is playing a horrible Jacksonville pass defense, so he might hit 400, but I will be shocked if Trevor Lawrence even hits 300. So I have to just give you a slightly better grade than I gave Wilson, so an A-.
Oh,
Okay.
God, what a plot twist.
Yeah, what a slap in the face. All right, Sully, what do you got?
I'll split it down the middle. What did I give you, Wilson? Like an A or an A-?
You gave me an A, man. You gave me an
All
A.
right. Well, I'll give Wilson. I'll give Brinson the A-.
You're fine, so you're fitting right in.
I'll give you the A-.
A-. There we go.
I don't remember what the grade is, and I don't remember your name. That you are
Whatever it is.
You are
Welcome.
You're fitting in
Pass,
perfectly.
move on.
Yeah.
All right. Breech,
Sully,
do
what
you
you
want to
got?
go or do you want Sully to go?
For the prediction, would you give Brinson Wilson?
I gave him a B.
Okay. You gave him a
Because
B?
He copied off my paper.
Okay. No, Solly can go. I'll just keep going last. No, you know what? I'm going to go.
All right. What do
So
you got?
here's the thing is I actually stole my first prediction for myself since I didn't come prepared with the 49ers prediction since I thought we were only doing
All right.
3 predictions. So my 185-yard prediction was actually intended for Travis Etienne. So my bold prediction is that Travis Etienne rushes for 185 yards against the Chargers.
Can we retroactively give you an F for your
I
Christian
know, right?
McCaffrey prediction?
What? How
By
are
the
you
way-
talking about? Etienne's going up. So the Chargers
Are the
giving
worst
up-
run defense in football?
not just, I mean, the 5th worst, but they are giving up 5.4 yards per carry, which is the most that any NFL team has given up in a
So you
season.
mean the worst?
We're
you're-
talking about total rushing yards. They did not give up the most rushing yards this year.
Probably because they were winning some games and teams are throwing against them. They have the
Okay.
most yards per carry.
So, well,
They're
when you
the
give out your
worst,
grade, you can bring all these factors up, but can I finish?
bro. Can I finish?
Okay. So anyway, they are giving up 5.4 yards per attempt this year, which is the most that any NFL team has given up in a season since 1959. I think Travis Etienne is going to go off, and I will say he rushes for 200 yards against
Yep.
the Los Angeles Chargers, which again has only been done twice in the history of the wild card round. And if you guys name the running backs who did it, I will literally, I don't know, like
Punch yourself in the face.
Venmo you $5,
Oh, okay. I
but
like
you only
punch-
get one guess, and you can't.
Wait, how many running backs have done it
2?
in the divisional round?
No, wild card round.
Oh, Ray Rice.
All right. Breech, I will give
Who
you.
are they? Who are the running backs?
Lamar Smith for the Dolphins against the Colts in 2000, and Freeman McNeil
Okay,
Jets.
would not have gotten
Jets.
this. Would
for
not
the
have gotten
Jets
this.
against the Bengals in 1982.
All right, Breech, I gave you a B for the last bowl prediction. I will give you a B plus. And also I would like to say that my bowl prediction for Devin Singletary and the Bills is that he rushes for 185 yards. So Breech can't steal that one. Brinson, what do you want to give Breech on this?
I will retroactively give Breech 2 Fs.
You gave him a D on the last.
I'll move it down to an F, and this one gets an F.
All right.
Cheating,
I'm not gonna-
using your first prediction on Like you're like, that's so lazy. That's like that. Even I think that's lazy, bro. Like, come on.
Just the official rules, you can't retroactively change, but I did give him an F and I added a minus to it.
What?
So you, and by the way, a D and F don't average that great, so it's not, you're still going to get grounded, Breech. All right, Sully, what do you got?
I'll give you a B- on that one.
Oh, there
Thanks.
you go. All right, Sully, you're up,
All
my man.
Mine is a little bit more not specific to stats or anything. It's just big picture. I think the Jaguars blow out the Chargers to the point where you're starting to talk about firing Brandon Staley. Maybe this time next week he's not even their head coach.
What is going on?
A.
All
What
right,
can we get like a range, like 10 points, 21 points,
Like
17 to 21?
A two score like 2-touchdown victory, like 14.
The Chargers look hapless in Jackson.
And they look awful.
Okay, Brinson
Stupid
gives you an A.
decisions in terms of going for it on fourth down, like all the hallmarks of Staley's career, and
Are
they
you
just crashed down
for
and burned.
playing their starters the entire game? Are you gonna be mad about that too in the playoff game? He didn't bench his starters at halftime. Is that where we're at now?
Basically,
Me?
No, I'm talking to Sully. All right, Breech, he gets an A from Brinson. Sully does. What are you giving him?
I'm going to give him an A-. I like that. And I'm going to throw in a fun fact that the Chargers went 1-3 in outdoor games this year, and their only win came because the Browns missed a 53-yard field goal in the final seconds. Otherwise, they would have gone 0-4.
That's a trick question because they play in LA, which is sideways outdoors.
They play in an outdoor stadium.
They play in an indoor. It's
With
not
no
a
wind.
dome, but it's indoors.
an indoor stadium that also rains inside.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get on the field. It doesn't
I mean,
impact.
it had lightning strikes like delay games in that
So,
stadium.
Breech, when you're driving down the street in that little car, you pick me and Brinson up in, and the windows are down and it's raining. Are you indoors or outdoors?
You are in the car.
Getting
You are
wet
not
because
outside.
there are no windows.
Yeah, that's the fans get wet. That doesn't impact the play on the field.
All right,
The stadium is indoors.
because I'm a huge Brandon Staley homer, I'm giving Sully a C+. I do not like that prediction at
Wow.
all. It's very disrespectful. All right, next game is Miami and Buffalo, 1 p.m. Brinson, why don't you go first? So you can so you can't steal other people's papers.
My bold prediction for this game is that Mike Glennon throws 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's a F. That was easy. Moving on.
All right, next.
That's not your bold prediction. What is it?
Yeah, why not? Teddy
'Cause he's not
Bridgewater
gonna
ain't
play.
Tua ain't playing. Skylar
Is
Thompson gets benched. Mike Glennon comes in and throws 2 passing touchdowns.
Where is Tua? I mean, where's Teddy B in his progress?
I'm not sure.
McDaniel was asked about it Monday and said no updates
On Teddy or Tua?
on Tua.
Okay, so legit, you're going with your boy Glennon throwing
Yeah,
2 TDs?
That's
All
pretty
right.
bold.
Sully, you can be the first one to grade that. That is bold. I will
I
give
mean,
you
it's
that.
bold and it's not out of the range of possibilities.
I'm sure Breech will check quickly, but I'm not sure the last time Mike Glennon was a starting quarterback and threw touchdowns in a game. So he just hasn't played. Is my concern.
So
I'm
I
not being a
guess that
jerk.
makes
I'm just
it I guess that makes it extremely bold. So I guess I'll give you an A- then.
But it
right?
has
Like,
to be based in some reality.
It is, dude. He's
But he
probably
could
going to
play.
be the backup. And then Skylar Thompson, like when it happens and the Dolphins are down 21 points in the first quarter to the Bills.
Don't misunderstand. I think the A- part is reality based in terms of Glennon playing, but you also have to add in the part about the 2 touchdowns. Breech, did you want to add something?
I was just going to say Glennon threw last time he threw 2 touchdown passes was in 2021 against the Chargers.
Okay. All right.
While playing for the Giants.
Sully, you want to stick with A-?
Sure.
You don't seem sure about it, but
I'll give it a B+. I don't hate it.
Thank you.
You just got an F from the same person. B+.
Yeah, you know what? That's true.
This is not a revenge show. It's a bold prediction show.
I'm gonna stick with the
me
B+
too.
though because I'm an honorable person.
It's also
unlike-
kind of a revenge show. But
All right. The thing this happened to me last year as I go through this, I do a column of names and a column of names with the grades, and I forget which direction I'm going halfway through the grading process. I'm going up and down. All right, so A-. Man, come on, what are we doing here?
it's a bold prediction.
I'll give it a C. I mean, it's bold, but it ain't happening. If it has happened, then I'll have to get a Mike Glennon tattoo. Of course, we know how that works.
I'd be careful, bro.
There's another bald head on me. What's that going to do?
All
All
right.
right.
Wilson, what you got?
Oh, this one's awesome. And if this doesn't elicit 3 A's or north of that, there's going to be an A.
You're already
Glennon
talking down your
Mike
grade
Glennon
right
throws
now.
2
Like,
interceptions.
if you're pumping it up, that just means it's going down a letter grade with most of these people.
Mike Glennon throws 8 interceptions. No, here's the grade. Dawson Knox has more yards and touchdowns than Tyreek Hill. Now, listen to this because I looked it up and it's quite amazing. Tyreek has played the Bills 5 times. And in those 5 games, He's had north of 60 receiving yards just twice, never more than 69. Shout out to Gronk. And he's had 41, 20, and 33 receiving yard games. He's had exactly one touchdown in those 5 games, which is crazy. So he's averaging 45 yards a game and, 0.2 of a touchdown, if you want to do the math that way. Dawson Knox, meanwhile, the last game against Miami early this season, back in mid-December, he had, 6 catches for 98 yards and a touchdown. So previous to that, he's had basically Tyreek numbers. He hasn't been necessarily setting the world on fire against the Dolphins. But I do think that they're going to try to stop Steph Diggs, and maybe Gabriel Davis doesn't have quite the game that he would like to have. So Dawson Knox is next up. So more receiving yards and touchdowns than Tyreek.
If this were a revenge podcast,
which it is.
You a C. It's not. It's a bold prediction podcast. I will give you a C+.
Yeah,
just kidding. I'll give you an A-.
Oh, I was going to take the A minus.
A minus.
Yeah, I'll give you an A on that one. I mean,
Thank
I feel like
you, Sully.
I feel like if you were putting odds on that, it'd be like 22-1 or something like that. I mean, that's pretty significant. Knox outpacing Tyreek Hill.
It'd be insane, but I couldn't believe how poorly Tyreek has played against Buffalo historically.
I'm surprised Brinson didn't throw some sort of this is breach logic where it doesn't sound, it sounds crazy, but it makes perfect sense. Because look, the Dolphins could have freaking Mike Glennon throwing passes to Tyreek Hill or Skylar Thompson. So when you factor that in, it makes this a much more interesting prediction. But I love it. I'm giving A minus.
You're such a tough grader. I'll take it. My prediction came true that I would get at least 3 A's. So there we go. I'm rolling.
Double.
All right. Brinson's gone. I've gone. Sully, go this time so Breech can't snake you.
All right. I will go with the Miami Dolphins. It's kind of on the same lines, I guess, of what you guys are talking about. We'll score in the single digits for the first time this season. And the Buffalo Bills, just if you are curious, they have held opponents to single digits twice this season. We're talking about the quarterbacks. I mean, it could be Mike Glennon. I don't think he's going to throw for 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to maybe.
Well, your grade says otherwise, Sully. Jesus.
Yeah, it's bold, but I don't think it's going to happen.
All right, so single digits for Miami.
Yeah.
Breech, it's the first time it's happened all season. What do you think?
I'm giving it a C.
Jeez.
Because Sully showing up on the show and having similar predictions to me. I have a very similar prediction, but it's more bold. So I can't.
I'm
just making a mid-average.
I'll give it a B.
Cool.
Brinson, Sully's bold prediction that the Miami Dolphins don't score in double digits for the first time all year.
Ooh, B+.
Breech gave it a C. I gave it a B.
B+.
B+. All right.
That's actually a good Breechian prediction too, because
the reason I gave it a C is because my bold prediction is that the Bills shut out the Dolphins.
Jeez.
I think that if Tua's not going to play, you're going to have backup quarterbacks out there. There has only been one playoff shutout over the past 15 years, and I think the Bills can do it.
So you gave Sully a C and then predicted the exact same thing.
Not even close to the exact same thing. He's saying the Dolphins could score 9 points. I'm saying the Dolphins will score 0.
Breech, I'm going to give you, like I gave, I gave Sully B+. I'm going to give you a B for copying, like I did with, I got to knock you for that.
Well, that's why I should get to go first. You guys, I've gone fourth every single time.
C- for erroneously revenge grading Sully when you should have propped Sully up to get a great grade from Sully when you had a similar prediction.
No, it's not as bold as mine. So how could I give him if I think I have an A+ prediction? I gotta, you
have a C+ prediction in my book.
And like Brinson said, this is not a revenge podcast, even though there might be some undertones of it. So I'll give you an A+.
Oh, come on. This is a revenge podcast.
I love how Sully plays the game.
Yeah,
He's always on the podcast.
Sully will learn. All right, Ravens, Cincinnati. Sunday night.
Are we skipping?
Before we do
Giants,
that,
Vikings?
Sorry, skip the game. Go ahead.
Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll do Giants Vikings.
Yeah, that's right.
Predictions on the other side. Next,
we need a pecking order inside, gentlemen, so we have control on the outside.
Mike, there's gonna be some payback.
I have an idea. It's gonna sting, but it will work.
I'm gonna trust you on this.
The inmates are running the asylum. And you're giving up the key.
This war is what I'm trying to stop. If I say I'm going to do a thing, I think it's done.
what are we going to do, Wilson? We going to do Giants Vikings or
I overlooked that one. So that's Sunday at 4:30, and Breech, go. Oh no, you can go first in the Cincinnati game, so you can't complain about that. Brinson, why don't you go ahead, lead us off for Giants, Minnesota.
Giants, Minnesota. My bold prediction is that Kenny Galladay catches 2 touchdown passes.
Oh God! All right, someone's.
Oh, one on Sunday. His first touchdown as a Giant. He's about to go on a tear. Guy's on a heater.
Did the Giants sign him 8 days ago, or has he been there for 2 years?
He's been there for 2 years. It's
okay. Just checking.
It would be amazing if Kenny Galladay caught 2 touchdown passes.
All right, Breech, give us the reality-based grade of Kenny Galladay catching 2 touchdowns.
Well, I mean, he did catch one in Week 18, and maybe which was also one of the most spectacular catches that any receiver made this season. So maybe that was enough for Brian Dable to go, you know what? Let's give Kenny some playing time in the playoffs, even though he's done absolutely nothing all season except for that touchdown. I give it a B. I like the creativity. It doesn't seem realistic, but if it hits, man, that is crazy. I'm going to give it a B. I'm not going to revenge grade here. I'm just Brinson's just throwing out the Glennon, the Galladay. He's going with the old
really
guy.
leading into the 2021.
This sounds a lot like what I was talking about yesterday when you two numbnuts were bought in on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and you're going to buy in on Russ Wilson. You're talking yourselves into Kenny Galladay. All right, Sully, what's your grade on this?
I'll give you a B- on that one.
Okay, B-. I think B- is fair.
I'm fine with that.
That's B's across the board.
You take a B- home, your first semester at Christmas, bunch of B- home. Parents thrilled.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with that.
I wish you brought one home.
I did not bring home a B-.
I did not either. I don't think I brought home a C-.
Sully, why don't you go ahead?
I'll go with Daniel Jones dominates this Vikings secondary to the tune of over 400 yards passing in the win, in the upset. I've said before, I think that the Vikings are ripe to be plucked. I think that they are fool's gold. The secondary is not that good. And Daniel Jones has done this before. I mean, he's thrown for over 400 yards. The last time he did it was week 4 of last season in New Orleans. You're inside. This is where he goes off.
This, by the way, this is the whole point of the bold prediction too, is to sort of lean into what we think the outcome of the game will be. Like, you know, like when I say Kenny Galladay catches 2 touchdown passes, it's not that far off of what Sully's saying. Is that and of course, anyone who listens to this podcast knows that we don't think the Vikings are, you know, like 11-0 in 1-score games, and now you get the other team that's great in 1-score games. Like, this is where it bites you in the ass. That line is so stinky, so fishy. The Vikings won, what, 12 games? 13 games? They're 3-point favorites at home?
What do you give? What grade are you giving them?
I give them a B+.
I'm going to give them an A because my bold prediction is Breechy in fashion. Going to be quite similar to Sully's.
I mean, mine's kind of similar, too.
I'm also going to give him an A. There have only been 9 quarterbacks in NFL history, or wild card history, to throw for at least 400 yards in a game. So that is what we're up against. But it is also his first career playoff start, and quarterbacks are 12-35 straight up when making their first career playoff start in the wild card round.
So we've got a little echo going on. We'll sort that out. Yeah, oddly enough, the only person not echoing is Brinson.
I don't hear y'all echoing.
Do you hear any echoes?
Brinson, you got a filibuster. All 3 of us are echoing. You're the only one not echoing.
My computer's cursed. It's a problem. Yeah, I don't hear any echoing. So I'll just say that Sully clearly hears it. I will jump out. No, I guess I stay in. You jump out? I don't know. What are you gonna do? Is that bad, huh? You're hearing? Do you hear me? Okay.
No, you're not echoing. All 3 of us are.
Yeah.
That's great. So
Hit the eject button, Brinson, and come back.
I'll even come back.
Bye.
All right, now how does it sound?
Sounds great.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the problem.
That was amazing.
That's fantastic.
If you're watching on YouTube, Brinson, just call in and we'll have Nada put you through on the hotline.
Call our 1-800 podcast number.
Too
If you
funny.
call in the next 5 minutes,
You'll get the free shirt that Sully's wearing. You'll get that half price. All right. So let's see. Brinson will be back in a second. Breech, no, I'm going to go Breech because I think Brinson said his pick is similar to mine. So let me beat him to the punch for you.
Brinson already made his pick. He had the Galladay 2 touchdowns.
Oh, sure.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so mine is very similar to Sully's, and this is going to affect my grade. This is my fault for letting Sully go first. Daniel Jones puts up more yards and total touchdowns and fewer turnovers, big caveat there, than our boy Kirby Cousins.
I'll give that a B+.
Oh, good. I don't have to explain.
I don't know if it's like tremendously bold, but it's bold.
Man, I'll run out of this class with a B+. Breech?
Yeah, I think I will give it a B because, again, I think the thing that you got to keep in mind here is that this is Daniel Jones's first ever playoff start. And as I noted, while the echoing was happening, that quarterbacks are 12-35 straight up when making their first career playoff start in the wild card round. So, like, there's a lot of pressure on you. And I like both the boldness of both predictions, but I do think that Brian Daboll knows that quarterbacks tend to struggle in the first career playoff start. I just feel like he's going to try and take a lot of pressure off Jones and put a lot of that on Saquon Barkley, which makes the predictions even crazier because if they end up throwing for 400 yards or he ends up outplaying Cousins. So I'm giving you a B, Wilson.
Thank you. Shout out to Brian J in the comments. He's been with us all season, bless his heart, but he is a huge Vikings supporter, and we have been giving the Vikings the business for the entirety of this offseason. So I get a D- from Brian J for being too predictable, presumably talking about the Vikings, or in this case, Daniel
And for
Jones.
Brian J, listen to our bold comments, which are all about the Giants just torching the Vikings. Galladay catching 2 touchdowns, Daniel Jones throwing for 400 yards, Daniel Jones outplaying Kirk Cousins, and then my bold prediction, which is Kirk Cousins gets sacked, the Giants set the wild card sack record by sacking Cousins 8 times.
8 times?
8 times? Wow, okay.
Do you have any background on that? Like, how'd you get to 8? Why not 6?
Well, because I wanted it to be the record. As long as it wasn't above 10, I was going to make it the wild card round record. The wild card round record is 7 sacks, which has happened multiple times. The most recently in 2020, it happened in the Texans-Bills game, and it happened in that's 2019 season, and happened in the Seahawks-Eagles game. So we're going to get to 8. We're going to set the wild card round record.
So, Brinson, we need grades for my bold prediction. Daniel Jones puts up more yards and total touchdowns and fewer turnovers than Kirby. And Breech's bold prediction, Kirby is sacked 8 times.
8?
That's what I just said, yes.
He got sacked 4 times in their first meeting on Christmas Eve. And the big difference is that this time around, the Vikings do not have their starting right tackle from Christmas Eve because he is out for the season, Brian O'Neill.
Does Kayvon Thibodeau do any, like, death snow angels?
Yeah, how many snow angel dances?
3.
3. Okay. So, Brinson, what do you got grade-wise?
A-.
Yes.
8.
Final.
A-. All right. All right, we'll do this, and you can circle back to my Daniel Jones predictions.
I'll give you a B+ for yours.
All right, I'll take it. I won't ask any questions. Sully, what do you think of this 8 sack performance that we're about to witness?
I'll give it an A because I do think, we're talking about it being in the realm of reality. Giants' highest blitz rate in the NFL this season. You have Dexter Lawrence, 28 quarterback hits this season, most by a player, 340 pounds or more since they first started tracking this, our CBS Sports research team, in 2006. They get after the quarterback with Wink Martindale as their defensive coordinator. Sure, I can see it happening.
All right.
Sully brought better stats to back up my prediction than I brought, so thanks, Sully.
Got you.
He's new. I'll give it a B+, Breech. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Thank you.
All right. We're on to Cincinnati.
I'll go here. I'll step in and go here.
Oh, you're not going to let Breech go first for the hometown team?
No, go.
Not only do the Bengals win this game, the Bengals win the Super Bowl.
That's sort of cheating. This is just wild card weekend bowl predictions.
Well, that's my bold prediction.
Okay. Breech, you can grade that one first.
Yeah, obviously I love it. So from
the anything other than A+ for this
personal standpoint, I give it an A+. But as Wilson said, this is outside the realm of the wild card round. So I have to dock him just slightly. So I'm going to knock it down from an A+ to an A.
I was hoping you were going to say like a C- or something. All right, A. Breech gives Brinson an A.
For predicting that Breech's team will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's bold.
I'll go B+ because it's kind of a little bit of how I'm looking at mine.
Oh.
So what's yours?
Well, I got to hear Wilson's grade first.
Tell me again, Sully, what you gave him.
I gave him what did I just give you? A B plus, A minus, something along those lines.
I'm going to give him a B.
I forget. I
Because
actually completely lost it.
I gave a B plus from you. I gave him a B minus because he didn't follow the rules.
Sure.
All right. You want to go next, Breech?
That's Sully go.
Sully. Sorry. Go ahead. What do you got, Sully?
Wow, we're really just kicking Breech down with the Bengals here. But I'm sure he'll like this one because I do think that the Bengals blow out the Ravens. And more so, my prediction is what's going to happen post-game. We are going to get a very murky situation about Lamar Jackson and his future in Baltimore that's going to make us all believe that he's played his last game for the Ravens.
That, again, not exactly following the
I know.
the tenor of the conversation, but more so than Brinson. I'll give that a B plus.
Does Lamar play in the game?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think he does that. That's actually bold that he plays. You should have led with that part. I'll give it an A minus then if he plays.
Doesn't play particularly well.
No.
A little sloppy, and then is some frustrations in the post game that make you think that he's done in Baltimore.
All right, A minus. I don't hate that.
I gave your Staley prediction an A because that was like directly related to the game, but I feel like Lamar, he might not even play. And
That's the boldness.
I'm going to give it a B.
It wasn't part of the prediction until we asked.
B plus.
B
That's
plus.
that's why I'm
That's
not
what
going
happens. The further you talk, the grade goes down.
Right.
You
B
take what
plus.
you like and leave.
That's right.
Yeah.
You gave me a B plus, Sully, so I will, work retroactively and give you a C plus.
I was going to say they ain't going to be a B plus. There's going to be a cost associated with that. All right, Breech, you finally get to go third to talk about your Bengals.
All right. So I feel like the Bengals are pretty upset right now with the Ravens, and that they want to absolutely, they're going to go for the jugular on Sunday. I think they want to run up the score. I think they want to score as many points as possible. Last season, we saw Burrow average 470 yards per game against the Ravens, but held under 225 in both games this season. So the Ravens have played much better. So my bold prediction is that Joe Burrow becomes the first quarterback in wild card history to throw for 450 yards and throw 5 touchdown passes.
Wow.
Ooh.
All right, Brinson, why don't you grade that first?
Oh, I'm tempted to be a jerk and give you a bad grade, but it's a good prediction. I think it could happen. I think Burrow goes ham. Even though the Ravens defense much better the second half of the season, I'm going to give it a B plus.
Yes.
Sully?
I'm giving that an A. That's a good one. I mean, I guess B plus is still good, but I'll give you an A.
What are
on
the
that.
odds?
I was sort of being sarcastic with the B plus.
What are the odds, Sully and or Brinson, that Joe Burrow, forget the yardage, throws 5 touchdowns though? Like, would you take?
All right, fine. I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A.
I'm not asking you to change it. I just want to know for when I give him this F here, if I can justify it.
I mean, if you, I mean,
10-1? Would you take 10-1?
no, I would need like 35-1.
Okay, that's my point. All right, so knowing that, I'm going to give you I got to give you a C. I mean, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but the reality-based part of it's leaving me wondering.
I
And I say that knowing
he
that-
threw 4 touchdowns against your Steelers, and then just a few weeks ago against the Buccaneers.
And
Sully,
it's not impossible. Ben Roethlisberger in the divisional round, this would be a wild card record, threw 5 touchdowns and 450 yards. Ben Roethlisberger.
counterpoint. That same Steelers defense lost to some goober named Mac Jones. You looked over there.
you
His
say this
button.
is
Not
another
that, no, this
Bucs.
was not that Steelers defense. This was the 2017 season when they lost to Jacksonville.
By the way, not
45.
happy that Brinson glanced at the dunk button and refused to hit it in that moment of Mac Jones dunking on myself. All right. Here's my bold prediction, which isn't going to be bold now because it breaches ridiculously bold prediction in the previous game. I will just channel. Someone mentioned this in the comments, so I want to give them a shout out because it's bolder than mine. Their bolder prediction, and this is Josh Dooley, excuse me. Burrow gets sacked 9 times, which is bolder than the prediction that you had of 8 for Kirby. My bold prediction was that the Ravens sacked Joe Burrow 6 times, and I thought I was saying something. He obviously was sacked 7 times in the opener against the Steelers. That was hard to watch at times, of course. And I say that because no La'el Collins, no Alex Kappa, so they're going to be starting Adonijah and Sharping on the right side, which probably I would imagine is troubling to Breech and probably Joe Burrow. And he got sacked 7 in the opener. He got sacked 6 in week 2. I mean, that feels like it was 10 years ago against the Cowboys. And since then, since early November, he's not been sacked more than twice. So a lot has changed, but the injuries are a concern 6 sacks felt like a lot. It's not a record, obviously, because Breech thinks that's going to happen with our buddy Kirby Cousins. But so 6, that's where we're at. Yeah, that's what I expected after.
So you're predicting 6, and we're giving and the commenter is predicting 9.
Josh is predicting 9.
I give Josh an A, and I give you a C+.
Do you think there's a realistic chance that 9 happens?
He got sacked 10 times last year against the Titans, and like you said, they're down 2 offensive linemen over the past 2 weeks. I don't think it's
All right.
like
Josh
impossible.
gets an A. I get
And to be honest, I actually thought about making my sacks prediction about the Bengals instead of the Vikings, but I didn't want to jinx myself. And so I needed a positive prediction, so I put it on poor Kirby Cousins.
That's not how jinxes work. Jinx is like you say 10, and then he doesn't get sacked at all and throws for 5 touchdowns. Sully, what do you got? Well,
I didn't want to predict that Burrow gets beat up.
I'll give you a B- on that.
Thank you.
Solid.
Brinson.
Did he actually get sacked 10 times? Is that right?
If Breech knows anything, it's how many times Joe Burrow gets hit.
7, 8, 9. 9. Sacked 9 times.
Oh, it was an insane number.
I think the Breech sack count was a 10.
There was 1 sack by the Bengals also. So 10 total sacks in that game. I mean, I think it's a really good prediction. It's just Breech, snaked you with the Daniel Jones or the Kirby Cousins thing. So out of the spirit of fairness, I will give you a C.
That's fine. After Breech totally ruined my. All right, that is the Sunday night game.
See, now you know how it feels to go last. I had 3 of my predictions snaked right out from under me. It's not easy being last.
All right, there it is. So the final game, Monday night. By the way, worst news of the season for me is realizing there's a Monday night playoff game. I was like, Jesus, I thought we were done with midweek, weekday games. Dallas, my Dallas Cowboys at Brinson and Breech's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Monday night. Who wants to go first?
Let Breech go.
Breech, go first, since this will be your day, Breech.
All right, here we go. My bold prediction in this game is that not only does Dak Prescott throw a pick 6, he's thrown a lot of interceptions this year, but the pick 6 comes in the 4th quarter, and it is the deciding score in the game.
Is that bold? Just because he's played so bad. I like it, but I'm just like,
I'm giving you the exact time when it's going to happen. Okay. I'm saying this is the game clinching. Maybe it's tied. Maybe the Bucs are down by 3 points, whatever. The deciding points in the game come on a Dak Prescott pick 6.
You want to grade that, Brinson?
I'll give it a C-.
Oh, goodness gracious. Sully.
I give that a B+. I mean, it's somewhat based in reality, but the specific time of it, I think, is really good.
I agree. I give it an A-. Like, I don't hate that one. And I do not like a lot of things about Breech. That actually is one of the things I do like.
And real quick, I think I mentioned this the other day, but Dak Prescott, the first quarterback in NFL history to miss 5 games and still lead the NFL in interceptions.
That's
Dak
good,
Prescott
right?
is your Kirby Cousins for me. You can't not continue to badmouth that poor man. Brinson, do you want to go or do you want Sully to go?
Go ahead, Sully.
I'll go. It's kind of what Ryan was alluding to. I'm going to say that the Cowboys roll against the Buccaneers. It's not because I think everybody and their mother is going to pick the Buccaneers to just upset the Cowboys because the Cowboys are going to stink. But I think that the Cowboys roll in this game. They already got their stinker out of the way last week against the Commanders. This is where you're like, oh, all right, here we go. Every Cowboys fan and their mother is going to start talking about them winning the Super Bowl again and all of that. And
Brinson is so triggered, Sully, that he left.
He left the podcast.
He went to cry his Tom Brady tears.
Which, if that doesn't get me an A+ from you two, I don't know what will.
I literally just wrote down A+. Before you said that. Breech, what do you want to give him for that?
I am going to give him a regular A.
Okay.
I mean, A is still pretty good. The one thing I will say is that so the Cowboys defense has been completely different. And Jason Garrett mentioned this point on NBC on Sunday night and actually decided,
He's your new go-to insider, by the way.
I'm going to go look up the stats behind this. The Cowboys have played 5 games on natural grass this year. They are 1-4, and they have surrendered 27.2 points per game on natural grass. When they don't play on grass, they play 12 games, and they're only giving up 17 points per game. So they're literally giving up 10.2 points more per game on grass, and their only win came against the Titans in a game where the Titans were starting a quarterback who had only been on the roster for a week, and the Cowboys were only up 17-13 midway through the 4th quarter. So the defense has been pretty bad on grass this year.
Brinson, did you catch Sully's bowl prediction? We thought you got angry, just left.
No. My chrome crashed.
You stormed off because
It
Thomas
was
Edward
so
Brady.
bold that your computer combusted. I get it.
I mean, I'm just gonna throw this computer away.
right.
I will give Sully a D+.
I'll take it.
He got two. He got A+ and A and a D+ from Tom Brady's biggest fan. Okay, fair enough. All right, Brinson, go ahead.
Thomas Edward Brady the fourth,
Esquire.
attorney at large.
There's a Patrick in there too, by the way.
Is there a Patrick in there?
Yeah, there is.
Is Thomas Edward Patrick Brady?
Yeah,
Huh, he's a 4-name guy.
he is.
Interesting.
Now you love him even more.
I do.
If only he went
Thomas
to private
Edward
school.
Patrick Brady throws one passing touchdown for each of his names. By the way, does he have 4 first names? What the hell?
He throws 4 touchdowns.
4 passing touchdowns, 400 yards.
That's a Wilsonian.
As the Buccaneers rout the Cowboys, and everybody says, "Oh my God, he's going to do it again."
That's a Wilsonian bowl prediction. Kenny Pickett takes 25 snaps. I mean, don't forget Breech said 450 and 5 for his dude Joe Burrow. So 4 touchdowns. Do you want to up it, or we'll give you an opportunity?
Well, he's saying the Buccaneers destroy the Cowboys too.
Yeah, but Sully just said that's not going to happen.
Old man for the entire year. If he throws for 404, it's a huge game.
Did you say 400 as well?
Yeah,
Oh, you did.
400
get
yards
400.
and 4 passing touchdowns.
Okay.
Oh, he added that part, Sully. Okay, if you add 404, I'll change my. What do you want to say, Breech? You want to vote?
Well, he also said the Buccaneers destroy the Cowboys by like 2 touchdowns or like 10 or like 17. A little range.
4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns?
They beat them by 4 touchdowns.
Okay, now you're just getting.
Well, I mean,
God.
You went too far.
The Jaguars can beat the Chargers by 4 touchdowns, but the Bucs can't beat the Cowboys by 4. It's the same principle.
Let's recap. First, it was 4 touchdowns that Tom throws. Then it's 400 yards plus the 4 touchdowns. No one heard. And then it was
Edward, Patrick, Brady.
And then they win by 28 points.
So I'll be honest. When Brinson started with his first one, in my head I was thinking C, but with each successive prediction, I just kept getting higher. I'm giving him an A-.
Wait, it was like this, the second one, and then when he said they're going to win by 28.
When if they win by 28, you have to get the final score tattooed on you, Wilson, because you're making fun of him.
And Sully will need an addendum to his bowl prediction in that Mike McCarthy will play so poorly that Brandon Staley will get fired even if Brandon Staley wins. That's how, if they lose by 28 in Tampa, Mark, what's his name? Mike McCarthy's walking home.
Well, that's what Brinson should have added to the prediction that McCarthy's out. If he
I was going to throw it in there.
He was going to add that. I think so. So A- Breech, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have those like side projects in school where you would get like 10 points on your next quiz if you did this side thing? That's basically what Brinson just did. He just handed in like 10 of them to bring his grade up.
I'm not done yet.
But wait, Mike McCarthy is fired on the airport tarmac, Lane Kiffin style.
He's left in Tampa.
In London.
Left in Tampa, and when he tries to open, he starts to walk up the airplane, the little the private airplane steps, the steps, I guess you could call them.
In aviation, they call them steps.
And who pops out in a little Delta suit but Sean Payton? He says, "I don't think so, Mike. You're not on this plane."
And then he parties with Lane Kiffin too, and they have a good time in Tampa. Sully, what do you want to give this?
I think I gave you a B+. That's good. It contracts mine a little bit, but I'll go with yours.
I'll go B+ as well. It's too much craziness. I mean, you had me at
400
400
actually
yards.
including the Mike McCarthy stuff. But.
No, but the 28-point winning by 4 touchdowns, that's where you lost me.
Yeah.
That said, I did see the way the Cowboys played last week, so maybe that's actually the least bold of those predictions. All right, here's mine. Again, I don't expect much. I think Breech, the takeaway is you can't go last because you just end up no one is impressed unless you make up some story like Brinson just weaved. Dak Prescott and Tom Brady. This might be bold. Combined for 9 touchdowns. Pass and run, though. We know Tommy can sneak from the 1-yard line, and 4th and 1 is his jam. Dak can run in from 10 yards or in. And then I should also include pick sixes by Dak Prescott if you want to get crazy. So 9 touchdowns combined. So Brinson said 4 that Tommy's going to throw. That means 5 have to come from somewhere else, either with your legs or with the arm of Dak Prescott.
I'll give it an A-.
Oh, thank
this
you.
is incredibly bold 9 touchdowns means the over is going to hit by a mile in this game. So Wilson feeling very strongly about that. The over-under set at 45.5, and 9 touchdowns would be at least 63 points. So
Brinson's win difference gets you halfway to that at 28. I mean, you're fine.
I mean, that's true. So yeah, I'm going to give you whatever I just said. I say an A minus, A minus.
A minus.
I'll go with Breech, A minus.
Oh, I love it. Brinson.
A minus.
Dang.
Wow.
All right.
Wilson won.
I was for sure that was going to be an F.
Not from lack of trying. I'll tell you that much. All right. Now I got to do the math real quick on these.
I can't wait until next week when we find out whose bold predictions came true. And I hope it's one where you guys gave me all D's.
I hope it is too. That makes it better.
Laugh at you for 10 minutes. Literally just 10 minutes. I'm going to cackle.
Breech, you got a C on the first game combined. That's not good.
I'm fine with that.
You're going to have to be because there's no do-overs.
Accused me of stealing Sully's prediction.
You guys can talk about stuff while I'm grading.
I was going to say, good on you, Wilson, for actually doing the hard work.
I know Wilson grinds on these. He's got a whole like stack of grades.
It's called OCD. That's how that works.
The last like 5 years of just grading.
Oh my gosh. So Breech, as I go through these grades, your Chargers, Jags, bold prediction, whatever it was, you got a B plus from me and a B minus from Sully, a B plus from me, F from Brinson. I don't remember what you said, but I don't think it was
ridiculous that Travis Etienne goes for 200 rushing yards.
Oh, right. Yeah, that didn't come out in the wash. We can talk about these later after the pod. After I get it'll take a while. Yeah, I don't want to hold people up.
That'll do it for us. Great show. Under an hour. Bold predictions for every single playoff game in the Super Wild Card weekend. It's gonna be a fun weekend. I think the games will be more exciting than people expect. Because the actual the marquee nature of the game. Like the games are not like. I would say that the Wild Card weekend games are not like headliners per se. Like Dak, Brady on Monday night, huge headliner. But for the most part, like good but not great. Good not great slate. It looks like. I will throw out one more bold prediction that the games end up being an exceptionally fun weekend of football.
Let's quickly before we go, 10 seconds each. I think I know Sully's already, but pick an upset. Sully, do you want to go with Dallas over Tampa?
Yeah.
I like that
well,
one.
I'm really going with but sure.
That's not an upset.
That's not an upset.
Cowboys are favored by 3.
Yeah. Sully would like to take the Giants over the Vikings.
A pick 6 podcast.
Yes,
upset.
I will do that. Yes, I will do Giants over Vikings.
My pick 6 podcast upset is Chargers rolled the Jags. Breech.
Boo.
My upset is Tampa Bay 3-point underdog over the Cowboys.
No one thinks that.
That's an upset. You're an underdog. It's an upset.
Pick 6 podcast upset. The wins over Wilson is Tampa minus 10. Go ahead.
The wins over Wilson system is broken if it's Tampa minus 10.
Could be. Brinson, then we'll get out of here.
Bucs over Cowboys.
Well, you stole my upset. I give that a D.
All right. Good talk,
All right.
boys.
Do I have to pick another one?
You don't have to. It's your show.
Just to spite you, Breech. Ravens over Bengals.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew it. I felt it.
I don't even believe it. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. For Sully, for Breech, for Wilson, I'm Brinson. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Enjoy the games.
Go Tar Heels.